The audio was off for a second. There we are. How are you guys? I really should have put... I was saying I should have put quotations in the new studio just because, as you guys can see, it's clearly a green screen. So this is the new studio setup. You guys will be happy to know that the clicking is gone. It's gone. I used to have clicking in the comment section for those who did not catch that, who weren't on the last stream, but yeah, solved that issue. Very happy about that. Let me move the mic a bit closer to my face, just cause, yeah. Okay, there we are. Okay, there we are. Let's see what the comments are saying. Looks like a green screen. That's because it is. EA new studio awesome. Nope, still green screen. Still green screen. So just so you guys know, this is going to be one of those exclusive content live streams. Again, not the standard, but yeah, a little bit more of a hangout session, if you will. You know, my mic is clicking in and out. I'm going to see if I can... There we are. That's the alternative. That's the alternative. It's either this on all the time, or you have it sort of come in, but, you know, every once in a while it'll click. Up to you. I like this. I feel it's a bit cleaner, but it ain't perfect. Yeah. You know, my studio is just pretty much, it's me and a computer and a mic. That's about it. So, I don't know why I need a new one all of a sudden. A new studio for me is like getting a new desk or a chair. That's about it. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. There we are. He isn't in his pajamas. Yeah, I know. Maybe one day. I would have to be very, very cozy in order to show up here with pajamas. I don't know. Maybe one day. ASMR night. Yeah, I'm still going back and forth in my head whether or not I like this. This gate is what it's called. It's called the gate because sometimes it lets audio through. See there? The gate just closed. And sometimes it doesn't. So, yeah. Okay. Where was I? So, hold on just one more second. Okay, great. Seems my internet is slowing down substantially. I don't know why. So far I've done everything in my power to make it as quick as possible, but it seems to be lagging just a little bit. Okay, I think we're back. sorry. I'm not intentionally ignoring you guys. I'm dealing with some stuff on my desktop. I just was being weird. So. I should have done this before the stream, but what do you know? Okay. I'm just gonna proceed ahead. So, back to the weekly catch-up. That's sort of what I've been calling these things, just out of, I don't know. You can't really call it habit if you've done it twice. Yeah. There's nothing much to say. Oh, okay. So, weekly catch episode, I show you what I've been consuming in terms of like, oh yeah, all forms of what that means. First off, I've been experimenting with homemade vegan chocolate, which has been disastrous and delicious. I just use like coconut oil, cocoa powder, and agave nectar. And it's been upsetting my stomach a little bit, so I gotta eat less. But it is truly delicious. I never knew it was that easy to actually craft some chocolate. Yeah, what else? So that's like food consumption. Oh, okay. So, gear-wise, biggest thing so far is this green screen. So, I ordered a green screen. It's this sort of circular, I don't know if I can show you. You know, I'll just describe it. It's this circular sort of thing that goes around, and it's just above. It's just out of frame. I've cropped in so you can't see it. And this is like a portable green screen. So if I don't have a backdrop and I want to go live from somewhere, I can throw one of these guys up, and yeah, happy days. Let's see what else. Okay. I suppose I'll just take you through what I've been listening to lately. Okay. It's you didn't notice the green screen at all. I bet that's sarcasm. Come on. That is sarcasm. Right? It seems very noticeable to me, but I did put the thing up, so. All right, back to the music. All right, so what have I been listening to lately? Well, I mean, first thing that sort of comes up is this. I've been doing sort of like a deep dive on various artists, and one of them, I went back and just reviewed the White Stripes, because Spotify's like a recent thing for me. For the most part, music for like, I don't know, 2020, really. Music for me before 2020 is me buying things on iTunes, which means that I'm exposed to it somehow, whether it's like the radio or I just hear it. I hear it somewhere. And I think that's a great song. Maybe I listen to it on YouTube, listen to the full thing, and then I sort of buy it. And the idea behind it was like, it's sort of like record collection, sort of this romanticized version of music. It's the next best thing to actually being able to buy something and hold it in your hand. It's in my library, and yeah, so I could go on like road trips and stuff like that, and it's there, it's downloaded, it's on the phone. I'm taking it with me. And Spotify, once I got that and I just started streaming stuff, you can go through. It's not such a hassle to, like, listening to stuff is just effortless. You can browse through an entire body of work of a particular artist and really see everything that they've done and really get a sense of it quickly. So I've sort of been going back to artists that I've already been fans of and just exploring the full depth. And some of them I've taken that to the exact. I've gone to the extreme. I've done that exactly. I've gone through every single song. Some of them I've sort of just browsed, pending around my interest. So, yeah, this is a live album from the White Stripes that I thought was pretty cool. I always liked their cover of Jolene. Jack White's awesome. So anyways, that's what I've been getting into lately. There's this guy right here. I think I heard Finneas somewhere talk about this song called Lonely that he wrote, I believe. And it came out for Justin Bieber. And Benny Blanco, which I'm also... Everybody knows he's another person of interest for me because he's an incredible producer. He produced it. Maybe in combination with Finneas. I don't know if Finneas was just like a writer or if he was also a producer on the thing. But it is a brilliant song. And it's probably my favorite Justin Bieber song. Just because... It's like the songwriting it captures reality in a way that few songs do. Most of the time, when you listen to music, you go to this other world where the music exists. And it's this colorful other place. It's sort of this heightened reality. And the words to this song, the lyrics, perfectly state where I get the point of view of Justin coming from this song, but also probably the point of view of Finneas looking at the point of view of his sister. I butcher it trying to explain it, but listen to the song if you haven't already. The lyrics are phenomenal. Some of the best lyric writing I've heard. Probably the best lyric writing I've heard all year. It's this one. But something about it still feels strange. Like looking in a mirror, trying to steady yourself and seeing somebody else. And everything is not the same now. It feels like all the lives have changed. You had it all, but nobody. No one gave it. Anyways, so based off of that, I just quickly threw some stuff into just well-made songs. By the way, none of these are public. I know the last time I live streamed it and the playlist got like 50 followers, which wasn't the point. It was just for me to listen to it. But yeah, I'm also sort of, I don't know. Some of the I very quickly throw these things together, or I passively listen to something and go, oh, that'd be good with this playlist, and so I just add it. But until I've given the full playlist a listen through thoughtfully, I don't know that I'm gonna make it public for you guys. This is one that's just stuck in my head recently. And I encountered the song a while ago just by Spotify recommending songs to me, you know. You sort of reach the end of an artist's catalog and you hit next song and Spotify goes, okay, here's one. Here's what we think you might be into. And for the most part, it's just like skip. And then once in a while, Spotify tries something out on you and you go, oh, what's this? You know? And it sort of grabs your ear and pulls you forward into it. And then, you know, okay, that's a great song. And sometimes they don't peter out, too. Sometimes you get a really cool intro or you hear a really interesting verse section. And then by the time, like, the rest of the song kicks in, it sort of doesn't live up to the initial idea, the initial thing that pulled your ear forward, that got you interested. And it's sort of saddening to me because I know the songs have already been written, but my ears going, like I can sort of hear, I wish they went to this other chord that would have been more pleasing to me. It's a very selfish thing, but so is the consumption of music in general. It's completely selfish. Other than like a concert, in which case that's communal, but you bought the ticket for yourself, unless you're going with friends, in which case then it's communal. But otherwise, concerts are communal by circumstance. Not so much coincidence, because you know what you're getting into. Where was I? What was I talking about? This is the problem with tangents. Tangents are great for doing a live, but if you don't know where you started, and you don't have another place to go, you're sort of left hanging, you know? It's like building a bridge halfway, and you're standing at the edge, and you're like, okay, where does this go? It isn't connecting to anything else yet, so... That was my low connective tissue. It's about tangents that didn't go anywhere, and I made a tangent out of that. If I were a superhero, I think my real power, not time travel, although that would be a much cooler one, it'd just be tangents. That would last for days. I would bore my enemy to death. I would overanalyze something until they just couldn't take it, and they just hated the sound. They just hated sound in general. And then they would just die. That would be my superpower. Deadly tangents. I don't know why they would stick around and listen to the tangents that would last for days on end, but you know, it's my own imagination, so I can do what I want with it. This was a really cool song. I'm still not sure why he added that little sample at the beginning. You hear that? There it is. Maybe like this. If you were to just hear piano, because I've been giving this a little bit of thought, because it's weird, and I've listened to the song over, and I'm like, why is that there? Instead of like after the piano, why is it before? Doesn't hold any significance in the song. Maybe it does to him, but not to the listener. Maybe it's a trick, because if the piano were to just come in, maybe it wouldn't hit hard enough, or it wouldn't seem as interesting. And so before he actually introduces the chords, he distracts you. You click, you hear silence, and then this little sample. And then you start thinking about that, and the piano's already started playing, and so now you're into the world. This is just a theory. I don't know why it's there, but I don't dislike it. I think it's pretty cool. Just confused by it.
You're tired now, lie down. I'll be waiting
To give you the good news. It might take patience. Love that song. Angel's also another one. That's a gem. Go and look at Phineas's. Heavenly. You listen to that with good headphones, the sort of stereo atmosphere, the nature sounds. You're just immediately at ease.
Congratulations.
And then it builds into this big crescendo. But it's still like this easygoing, angelic crescendo, which is fitting. It's very light. That's about as loud as it gets. Great song, though. That's another interesting thing. Dynamically, if you start small, even if you don't get that big, because you started small enough relative to how small you were, now you're bigger. So to the listener, it feels more impactful, which is interesting because you could have a very low voice, and if your verse is lower in the melody than the chorus is, and the chorus goes like an octave up, say, it's still going to be an interesting song. The listener's not going to notice that you have a low voice or that you can't hit high notes because you've sort of tricked it. And that's just good songwriting. So, this is quite a, what's the word? I don't know. Couldn't think of it. It is there though. I know what I'm thinking of. I don't know what it's called. Great production though. You should see the YouTube video of how he made it. It's brilliant. That's a cool song. That's a really cool song.
They say distance is.
This is a great song, by the way. When Alec put this out, I was like, every once in a while, I just gotta step back, because Alec's a great songwriter. Love the stuff that he does, but every once in a while, he'll blow me away in a way that no artist can do. Because it's such, he's like, it's sort of that thing. It's not in the same vein as Lonely by Justin Bieber, written by Phineas, where it's just, it captures reality perfectly. But he has a way of songwriting that it's sort of, I don't know, it's like fairy tale almost. But it doesn't feel cheesy at all. It doesn't feel like he's doing a gimmick or anything like that. It's innocence, that's the word. There's an innocence and a purity to the way that he writes that's really enticing. Really enticing. And this one, I thought, oh, what a great way to sort of encapsulate the feeling. And right out the gate, you know, pandemic sets in, 6 feet apart, new rule, at least. Really, you should stay farther away from that and wear a mask and a face shield, just to stay safe, but... yeah.
And relative to relatives I have, I'd say I'm relatively. To know just how lovely you but can't ride inside me apart when you're right outside. Miss you most at 6 feet apart when you're right outside my window but can't ride inside my car. And it hurts to know just how lovely you are. Be too far away to hold but close enough to break my heart. I miss your smile.
Feels like miles, 6 feet apart.
So far.
That's a great song, too. And then I had to throw Gravity on there because the playlist is called Well Made. I'm just like, come on. If you're going to look at a song that's perfect, Gravity, you know, that thing. Just going to jam out to it for a second. Cool. Justin Timberlake, you all been looking, I'm sure. You're like, what's this? You know how I said I was doing those deep dives and I showed you White Stripes? I was like, oh, this is a cool live album I've never heard before. Went back through Justin Timberlake just to listen to the production because I grew up on these songs, but I was too young to analyze the production. My ear was undeveloped because, you know, I really... Well, yeah, when you're younger, you don't really have the best ear for things. You're not really developed creatively in the same sense. And so one of my strengths as a musician at this age, I have a good ear for things. A good ear for things, an ear better than anything else that I am as a musician. And so I can sort of listen to productions and hear every element of it. And I don't know, somehow I came into contact with Justin Timberlake. I was like, oh... I should revisit. Oh, I know exactly how it was. I saw a YouTube video and I heard a vaguely familiar song, but I didn't know what it was. And it was this guy. I heard this riff.
Just something about you.
And I was like, I know that, but where do I know that from? And so this is sort of like a lot of the early Justin Timberlake stuff. It's like songs I'd heard in the car and hadn't listened to in years. So I went back and I listened to it with my teenage ears, being able to hear the various elements of production, and just sat there and had my mind blown for, however long this is. How long's the playlist? It's an hour. Yeah, so like an hour. But I went back and the Future Sex Love Sounds album and listened to that all the way, which is an hour and 6. And that's where it really got me going, because I was just like, wow, I had no idea. So what you got there is you got a kick and a snare, and then you got this weird sort of, you got this sort of weird, I don't know, marimba sound, something like that. And then you have a synth, which is stereo, so it's probably unison and then detuned to get that. And by the end of the song, you have this like weird organ sound. That. Dun, 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 dun. I want to know what that sound is so bad. Ugh. I think it's I don't know what it is. I truly don't know what it is. But it's stuck in my head all the time. When that thing kicks in the song, like, this is a great production through and through. But when that kicks in, there's no way that I'm going to stop listening, that I'm going to hit pause or skip or anything when that comes in. Talk about a good production element. That is perfect. And a nice sort of counterpoint guitar. And so I just tripped out for like an hour listening to this album going, I had no idea how brilliant this was. Because in my mind, when you're young, music sort of blends together. It's sort of this mush of music. And although it's still interesting, it's not nearly as interesting as it could be if you knew everything that went into it. And so, yeah, I like that a lot. Oh, this is a fun, interesting. I just love the intro of that. But the whole song's great, too. Talk about a good outro, too. No, I'm thinking of the other thing. But that one does have it, too. This one starts interesting. And then the cool thing about this is it changes to like a completely different feeling than this. Listen to the transition. Listen for the synth. The synth is about to come in. This is the best synth part ever. Anyways. Yeah, so I went back and thought that was awesome. And, yeah. That's pretty much, you're caught up on what I've been doing deep dive-wise anyways. Justin Timberlake, and, new song came out today called Lonely. And, loved it. Loved it. Speaking of deep dives, you guys know that I'm a big John Mayer fan. Let's try some of that. This is the only recorded version of the acoustic version of Neon, whereas the one that came out on the album is this sort of... It's not as good. It's different. To my ear, it's not as good, because I grew up on the acoustic version with the Where the Light Is album, and that's the recorded acoustic version, which I only heard recently, but This doesn't hit in the same way. Not for me. Becomes sort of like elevator music. I still like it. Still like it. It's still a great riff and a great song, but it could be so much better. It could be so much better. Oh, 3x5, so. You know, you want to talk about good writing and good lyricism. That's John Mayer. That's the bread and butter. That's what I grew up on. That's what I value as a musician. So, this is the chill out, sort of groovy, which is why it's actually on the chill thing. Where is it? 83. Boom. Yeah.
It's not that I don't want you here.
All right, back to John Mayer. These are all... I don't think these are... Any Given Thursday is a little bit different from these as is, but best live album, the one that works for me, this guy right here. This is what I grew up on. That's enough of a deep dive. I don't really have much else to say. It's some great... Oh, you know what? I'll show you this, because this guy's worth it. What a great riff. This should have been the recorded version.
Olivia is taken, but a look like hers can be found from time to time.
Whereas recorded version, great, love it. Not as fun. A little bit more laid back. It fits the album a lot better, I'll say that much. But that acoustic version, that riff, I don't know, maybe it's something about the way the guitar is processed that just makes me love it so much, but it's so pleasing to the ear. Alright, yeah. Let's just listen to that.
Olivia is taken,
But a look like hers can be found from time to time. Well, Olivia is taken, but a look like hers can be found from time to time. I'm thinking something like Olivia is what I need to find. One man in this world who gets to sleep with her by his side. There's only one man in this world who gets to sleep with her by his side. I'm thinking something like Olivia is what I need to find. I gotta stay on top of the lyrics, don't you? Love the way it hits on a percussive level. No love away from no one man. No, I'm not trying to steal. No love away from no one man. But if Olivia herself were at my door, I'd have to say I'd let her in. Something like Olivia, oh. Something like Olivia, oh. Something like Olivia, oh. Oh, and something like Olivia, oh. Keep thinking something like Olivia is what I need. I'm thinking, baby, something like Olivia is what I need. I'm thinking, baby, something like Olivia is what I need to find. This song makes my day. If I want a fun Saturday, this is what I'm listening to. I didn't like this as much. I first heard these live versions on YouTube, and I think they recorded multiple takes because the one on YouTube is not the one on Spotify, and the one on YouTube's better. Just saying. It's a lot better. It's faster. It's a lot faster. I wonder if Speak For Me is the same. Yeah, it's the same. Same exact. I can recognize it by ear because I've heard the thing not thousands times. That's ridiculous. I don't know. 30 times, probably. Probably listened to that video 30 times. I've probably seen every John Mayer video 30 times. Because the guy's a genius in my eyes. So, you know. You don't need to go to college for music if you study it on a daily basis. But I bet college can teach you something that, you know, YouTube can't. Unless you know what you're looking for. If you know to look for something, then YouTube, it's probably got you covered. What else? There's got to be some other, like, really... I bet there are some hidden gems in here that even I'm forgetting about. No. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. I'm sure. What I need's fine. Yeah, I'm out of stuff. Out of stuff. I should probably add that to grooving. Not so much. Maybe, maybe not. I'm torn. Oh, underrated song in my opinion, this guy.
Sunflower.
I can imagine this at Glastonbury, just going crazy. Sunflower, my eyes want you more than a melody.
Let me
Inside,
wish I
could get to know ya.
sunflowers.
This song grooves so hard.
Sweet in your memory.
I was just tongue-tied. Oh, this one. Speaking of grooving. This is a head trip right here.
He's such a nice boy, so well-mannered.
Oh, what other Charlie Puth songs are there? Charlie Puth has got, in terms of like groove and stuff hitting you hard, he's got an LA Girl. Ah, the intro to this. Listen to the way the snare is reversed to go into the drum beat. This sort of, listen.
Told you
I'm moving on to bigger and better things. Guess you never know how good you got it till it's gone. Thought I could find somebody new who could take your place. Cause the list goes on and on and on. There was Nick and Nicole, but there's only room for you in my world. Oh, and the bridge for this song is like nothing you've ever heard. Brilliant. Brilliant. Messing with these LA girls. I miss my baby. I miss my baby. I miss my baby.
messing with these LA girls. What?
I miss the days we take to go down to NYC. I don't know the words, but I don't want this to be the way you remember me. It's wrong. Listen to the bridge. My baby, messing with these LA girls.
1, 2, 3.
Talk to me like. Quit messing with me, Listen to that, yeah. What else? That's a lot of reverb, isn't it?
Oh, the way that you dance on.
Anyways. Did I add something to this? Yeah, I did. The resonance of it. I don't know what instrument this is, but doesn't bring back good memories. Who else grew up on this? I grew up on this. This is me driving down the canyon. I should add it to that. But you know. So happy. So happy. Your smiling face. I bet that's what the comments are saying. Because I'm happy. Have I talked about this? Probably. I have. Just song. If you're like working on math and you like to listen to music while you work, if that helps you, this is what I use. It's also nice to just have out by the pool.
1, 2, 3, funk it.
So it's all stuff like that. All stuff like that. I just can't help myself. I can't help myself. What would be a cool one to listen to? What would be a cool one to listen to? Sharpest Lies. That's a brilliant production. Oh! When it rains and it pours, when you're out on your own, gonna sleep in my clothes. Listen to the way the whispers going back and forth. Let me turn off the reverb. This is getting absurd. Yeah, there we are. I know you're in time for the show. You're the one that I need. You can watch me corrode like a beast in the booze. By the way, if you want to get me going, if you want to get anyone going, this and Vampire Money.
Well, I run away.
Yeah!
How about you, Frank?
Oh, I'm there, baby.
How about you, Mikey?
Fucking ready.
Well, I think I'm alright. 1, 2, 3,
4. It's what it does to me. Truly. Like I said, if you want to get me going, if I don't know the appropriate time to listen to this song because you can't really get anything done because you just rock so hard. And it sounds corny to say that, but you do. You do. This is truly a concert song because you can't do anything else other than just feel the thing in your skin, in your bones. You just feel, I don't even know. It just, that's a concert song. Come on. Nothing that starts like that is going to allow you to do anything else. Love that. This could be a whole stream, just Aiden loves music. What else? Oh.
The rain and cold snow. When all others go. Holding you tight, this day turns to night.
Listen to this. Listen to the way this song comes in.
Falling,
Oh,
dreaming.
I'm in a celestial plane all of a sudden. That is the coolest pad ever. This one is just resonance. This is a trip. This is literally out of this world. This is a songwriter song. I'll tell you that much. I don't know that. Just a regular consumer of music. I feel like you might have to be a songwriter to appreciate this song. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't really speak from that perspective because I am a songwriter. I don't get to not be, you know. But man, do I love this song. Brilliant. Traveled into deep space to see what I could find. A purple angel led me to the universe inside. Welcome to the real world, not the dream you left behind. It was all a figment of your mind. Flew amongst the patterns, impossible designs. They've been there the whole time, hidden by my eyes. If I'd had a body, it surely would have cried. The tears were a figment of my mind. Waking with eyes closed from technical dream. Crystal kaleidoscope, we're singing blue and green. Realer than real in front of me. If only you could see what I could see. I was shown a few things that I'd been getting wrong. You told me I'm a good man, have been all along. By the way, I heard her say there's no such thing as time. It's all a figment of my mind. Waking with eyes closed from technical dreams. Crazy, could see. I slowly found my body, color began to fade. I heard a piano playing, a knowing serenade. This world feels backwards to my open eyes, 'cause it's all a figment of my mind. This one. Stop! A little too high for me. Oh, and this one's a groovy one.
But all I wanna know, baby, is if what we had was good.
Listen how the drums come in on this thing. I love good drums. I love good drums so much. I love them so much. No, you want to hear something expansive? Those get awesome. Oh, and then this guy. Nothing like that guy. Nothing at all. I might come back to some music, but let's go to some videos for now. Speaking of Bowie, going through a little bit of a Bowie trip right now. not familiar with the original version of Heroes. I grew up on the single version off the Greatest Hits album. You guys have heard me mention it before. I sort of grew up on this iPod with this body of music that just happened to be on the iPod. And yeah, so I listened to the original Heroes lately, just going back. Again, I now have Spotify, so you can look at the... And boy, does Bowie have a lot of albums. I had no idea. I had sort of been selectively given the best bits, which of course became my favorite bits. But yeah, so going on a bit of a Bowie trip lately. You want to see a cool video, look at them dissect the song. So anyways, also reading The Great Gatsby. Steve Jobs, very brilliant man. So, the worst text you ever received. That's one of those that shuts your phone down. This is interesting. This wallpaper kills your phone. What it ended up being is this one pixel that was outside, like okay. So red on one device doesn't look the same on another device. And so you sort of had these ranges of red. I'm just picking the color red out of a hat, but you have the range of color that a screen can use. And what happened was there was one pixel which sort of went above the range. And so the computer didn't know how to handle it. And generally when that happens, it would just shut off. It would quit. It wouldn't look at it. But if you set it as your wallpaper, as soon as you open your phone, it has to quit. So it essentially just destroys your ability to access your phone. And it was both an interesting and underwhelming reveal. Apparently, Samsung's working on a transparent phone. That was weird to listen to. Lots of videos on the new... Oh, this is interesting. So I'm a YouTube creator, right? And I use music in my videos. And, you want to use music that doesn't get your video sort of copyright claimed and sometimes taken down, which is just scary. I've had that with a few videos that I hold dear, and I thank my previous self that I actually have the original files. I didn't delete them, so I have the ones where the music doesn't cut out, but it's just sad to listen back and just go like, like all those Toronto vlogs, like a lot of them, the music got cut because I just used whatever music I wanted. I didn't know any better, and yeah, I'm sad, So anyways, this is like, I discovered that because I was running out of music to actually put in these videos. I was just running out of music that I liked because I felt that a lot of the music on the YouTube audio library, it didn't fit the style of music that I like to use in videos. And so I discovered that if you use the subscribe thing and you just go back in their subscriber, if you just backtrack it, like Instagram, the Instagram homepage where you backtrack and you see everything that they've posted. If you do it that way, you can quickly decipher what you like and don't like instead of trying to click through the... I basically found I found like a bunch of music that I just added to the watch later playlist. So when I need to make a video, I'm a little less stressed now because I have more options. But I was running out for a time and I figured out how to bypass that inefficiency. Inefficiency is not the right word, but we're moving on. So too late to replace it. Yeah, so I did that a lot. You got to listen to a lot to find some good stuff. This is like MagSafe unboxing because it's interesting. They put a magnet in the new phone, and so like there's all these new complications that come with that. They're using like these wallet accessories and wireless charging accessory that clips on. Wireless charging thing that looks efficient. That looks like an effective use of the magnet. I can see the reasoning for it then. But the wallet, based on what I've seen, it's not strong enough to hold your wallet in. So when you try and put your phone in your pocket, the wallet comes off. You don't want to lose your wallet. And, testing of this is still in the early stages, but they did a demo of it, and it's a problem. I'm not going to be converting my wallet into this clip-on anytime soon. But they put a magnet in the phone. That's weird. But it's there. So anyways. Just because I plan to upgrade, because remember, still got the old tried and true 6 Plus. Love the thing. It served me well for many years, and I have a case for it that I bought a case off of YouTube that, you know how like there'll be videos, if you don't know, I'll explain it. There are videos on YouTube where they will drop phones from 50 feet. Like they buy a bunch of the same phone and they get all these different cases for it, and they literally drop it from 50 feet and see if it survives. And a lot of them don't. A lot of them that say they do, don't. And so I found this one that survived. It was it had all the great things that you want. It was a cool design. It wasn't a big bulky phone, because a lot of times the durable cases, they're too big. They're just ridiculous. You know, they're not an effective use of space. And they're effective in the sense that they protect your phone, but come on, you know, at a certain point, like these OtterBox cases, I don't want my phone to break, but I don't want that giant thing. And so I found this really cool case for the 6 Plus, and it was slim and sleek. And I guess my main point about this is that I'm a little concerned, not concerned, but I don't know that there's going to be a case out there that's already been developed to suit the iPhone 12 that I plan on upgrading to, because I've already got this. I can drop my phone anywhere. I can throw my phone across the room and be perfectly sure that it's going to be fine, because not only have I just dropped it accidentally and it's been fine, but someone dropped it from 50 feet. You're never going to be able to, you know, match that force in your everyday use. So I don't know that I'm going to have that with the iPhone 12, so hoping that a regular case and the supposedly 4 times durable glass is going to help get me through that period where they just haven't developed a case that can withstand 50 feet or 40 feet, which is, you know, where someone will feel truly confident about dropping their phone. Not that I want to, but, you know, I don't know. I think I've gotten better, but I do still from time to time drop my phone, and boy, am I glad I have the case on it. I drop it and I'm not stressed out at all. I don't get anxious when I drop my phone. It's sort of just there, which I guess is a bad thing, because then if you were anxious, you drop it less. But I remember dropping it and needing a case, and the screen breaking wasn't convincing me to, well, actually, no, I dropped it once and the screen broke, and then I got a good case. That was actually the extent. All right, back to the review of what I've been consuming this week. The weekly catch-up. This is the Diffusion Lab. That's a little bit of schoolwork. They had me go to this. iPhone 12 Pro. Yeah, it's all. Yeah. Oh, this was cool. Whiplash, brilliant editing. I don't know what I learned from this. I sort of browse YouTube on a very learning basis. I don't know how much of it I actually absorb, but I'm guessing it's in the subconscious on some level. If it truly interests me, then I'm guessing it's in the subconscious. But I couldn't tell you what the video was about brilliant editing. But it was basically like a video essay on just good editing. Oh, you know, all these punchy shots and... yeah, I don't know. Tension building. They talked about the dynamics of building tension and how you need the dip before the rise, which is something that is everly apparent in songwriting. So that was interesting to think about. But they also talked about how you could achieve it visually. Anyways, crash course video, schoolwork, as you would imagine. Remember, went on a Justin Timberlake dive, so mirrors. That's why that's there. I don't know why this popped up, but apparently I watched it. Mission Impossible side-by-side comparison. Oh, I might have been showing somebody. I don't remember. But he did that stunt, and the side-by-side shows how they shot it, and they jumped out of a plane. That's what... You're like, how did they film that thing where the guys jumped out of a plane? Well, they jumped out of a plane. That's how they did it. It's Tom Cruise, so... Oh, this is cool. The medium, film versus digital, and how it affects the tonality. Basically, it was another video essay. I watch a lot of video essays on filmmaking, and that's sort of how I keep myself learning. It was talking about how digital versus film and the choice of what medium you shoot on affects the story, and it's basically the summary of it. The main message was that you want to choose a medium that suits your narrative. And they made 9 minutes out of that, and I watched those 9 minutes. Why Apple is failing, that's just clickbait. I think it was basically like Apple has now sort of hit a plateau. They're sort of as big as they can get. Both because, you know, there's only... Oh no! Oh, I think I'm out of, you know what it is. That's funny, ain't it? Alright, so, I don't know. Yeah, it seems like I need another battery, but... Hi. We're gonna crop in. This would be a good sign to... Isn't that trippy? This is my log off thing. Yeah, it's been so long that the battery in my camera is now out. So I must leave you. And I don't know why I'm in some roller coaster, but it's freaking me out a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna end the stream here. Not because I'm out of stuff to talk about, but you know. I lost the good camera. I lost the big camera, so I'm gonna call it a night. And yeah. Thanks for watching the stream. Goodbye. You guys have been great. Bye.